Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and in online streaming news, we've got to talk about YouTube because their war on ad blockers is escalating. Now, here's what's going on, and here's a backdrop real quick, because YouTube has been cracking down on ad blockers rather aggressively since last year. Now, the reason why they're doing this is essentially they want everybody to switch to YouTube Premium, which essentially costs like 10, 20 bucks a month or more, depending on your options and all of that, to basically say, hey, it'll be ad-free, you can download things, you can't do with the free version of YouTube, etc., etc. And so with that, let's start with a brief recap on essentially this war on ad blockers. Now, YouTube back in the day allegedly began delaying the videos, creating an artificial lag on browsers other than Chrome and Edge. YouTube is owned by Google. Google makes Chrome. You can do the math on that. Edge, for the record, is Microsoft's product, but it runs on Chromium, just like Brave does and some others. So, reports, though, indicated that the problem affected users who had ad blockers installed. So it wasn't a Chrome or Edge or Chrome over like the competing Firefox, etc., etc. It was your ad blocker that was causing that delay, meaning they were trying to essentially circumvent that. Now, YouTube had revealed this past April in 2024 that it was displaying an anti-ad block prompt for users who were blocking ads and encouraged them to subscribe to their premium subscription, as I just mentioned. But ad blockers came to the rescue once again, allowing users to bypass the nag screen as they updated for this new change. Now, less than a month later, basically late April, it appeared that Google stepped up its efforts by causing videos to skip automatically if they detected an ad blocker, but that turned out actually to be a bug related to AdBlock Plus. A bazillion people are using AdBlock Plus along with other types of ad blockers, and so it was the ad blocker itself that was making that mistake. Now, Firefox users then accused YouTube of deliberately offering an inferior experience on non-Chromium browsers, as I mentioned, but for the record, that's never been proven definitively, and I'm sure I'm going to get some people on Firefox saying, Nick, you're absolutely wrong, it's the worst, blah, 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 blah. If you've got the evidence, please present it. I'm happy to share. Now, anyway, Google, obviously owner of YouTube, wasn't done with this kind of mess. YouTube decided to inject server-side ads into the videos, i.e., unlike ads that run separately, these new ads are embedded directly into the video stream, and so those are much more difficult to block, but it's not an impossible task for ad blockers. And so let's talk about what's happening right now, because you may actually be seeing a black screen on YouTube. And it's not just you. Now, Mashable is reporting the other day, literally yesterday, that users ran into black screens on YouTube, and it stayed there for about 6 seconds or so before the video began playing. Now, these reports indicate that several browsers were infected, or affected, I should say, including Firefox, Edge, Vivaldi, and more. Some users also joke that they'd rather see a blank screen than an ad, which, that's totally fine by me. But it's obviously a time waster, though, right? You don't have to sit through 6 seconds of black or 6 seconds through a pointless ad, whatever it is. So the simple workaround for the black screen on YouTube right now is just to refresh the page. You can hit F5 on your keyboard. It will refresh the page on any of your browsers, and then apparently that goes away. Now, another ad blocker known as uBlock Origin, their filters were updated with a patch to resolve that problem, and the add-ons update basically the filters automatically. So if you're still having that black screen issue, just open the dashboard for the extension and then manually update the filters, and that should go away. But this essential tug of war essentially isn't going away, and Google's efforts are actively promoting basically the use of ad blockers. If you think about it, meaning screw you, I'm just going to keep using ad blockers until I can't anymore, and I don't think it's necessarily attracting new subscribers, because it's making the YouTube experience essentially more difficult for the user. And if the user is getting frustrated with the ad blocker, then why on earth would they spend $14 plus US to essentially get the service? Now, full disclosure, and I'm going to get hate for this, but I actually do subscribe to YouTube. And the reason being is I travel an absolute ton. And so when I'm on airplanes, unless I'm writing an article or possibly researching stuff, I download an absolute ton of content. Now, that could be the Netflixes of the world, But because I am constantly watching and listening to political, everything, YouTube is a really good source for that. So basically hits of news within the last couple of hours end up on YouTube right on the heels of the major, cable news networks, platforms, think MSNBC, Fox, CNN, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm constantly listening to those things or watching those things. And so for me, it makes a lot of sense. There's no other service out there that's going to allow me to do that. So I pay the $14. But here's the thing. And on a side note, if you've got Google Chrome, essentially what's going to happen too is these ad blockers are going to be phased out. So I know I'm going to get love. I know I'm going to get hate on this, but quite frankly, let me know what you think. But ad blockers seem to be going away. YouTube is getting more aggressive, and we're going to see if this cat and mouse game essentially is going to keep up. But I think at some point, YouTube is going to come up with a system that the ad blockers really aren't going to be effective on. It's going to make it more annoying. Now, does that degrade YouTube's performance? Does that mean they're going to lose millions of users that are trying to get around these ads because nobody likes ads? We're going to see what happens, but quite frankly, I don't think YouTube's going anywhere, and when they are owned by Google, who has an absolute ton of money, I think they can spend through it. So we're going to see what happens, but that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well, where you'll probably see ads, but for the record, I ain't seen revenue on that yet, so don't blame me. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private. Thanks, everybody.